It could be. The Cowboys dummy half, New South Wales dummy half, Reece Robson joins once again the run home with Joel and Fletch. G'day, Reece.
G'day, gentlemen. How you going?
Oh, don't call us gentlemen's, Robbo, because you've seen what goes on behind the scenes. You were with the show last week. You got the bye. What's doing with the bye?
No, not a lot, mate. We just sort of finished our last session for the week, mate. So, yeah, pretty cruisy one, actually. We're actually heading out to a Anzac dinner tonight out at the barracks, so with a few of the Army fellas, so that'll be all right. And then a few days off, so not doing too much, to be honest.
You're not going to go to Magnetic Island?
Mate, it's booked out. I tried to. Easter weekend, I didn't realise the bye lined up for it, so I left it a little bit too late to try and get over there.
Hey, Reece, 0-3, and then the pressure because, you know, like Brian's been there myself. These off seasons are brutal, and then to come back and you want to win that first week, it doesn't happen. The second week doesn't happen. Week 3, people are asking big questions, but now you've strung a few together. What happened, you reckon? What was the big turning point? Was there a session where Toddy Payton brought you in? Was there a player who stood up and said, "Boys, we've got to do this"? What was the big turning point in your season so far?
I guess, yeah, like you said, it's obviously you want it to all go well in the first week. It sort of doesn't come together, and you don't want to start changing too much because sometimes you can just let a game go without anything needing to change too much. But, yeah, I guess after the second and third loss, it was just pretty much getting back to the drawing board and just knowing we were going to have to work our way out of it and making sure we were just getting those 1%ers right on the field, whether it was the kick chase, getting numbers in the picture, just making sure there was more of us around the ball than the other team. And I think it was those areas, and it wasn't anyone in particular. It was probably as a group collectively that really come together and knew that was where we were going to need to get those parts of the game right if we were going to be any chance of putting ourselves in a position to win the games. And I think that's what we started to get right, probably a little bit against the Bronx, but obviously didn't quite get the win that day. But yeah, I think the more we put ourselves in the picture the next week against the Raiders, it eventually come down to, I think, a pass at the end where Drinky saved a try, and we got that win, and the same the week after against Penrith. So I think it was just those little things we had to get right to put ourselves in a position to win games, and starting to, the harder you work, the luckier you get, I guess, is I guess the thing we've been going by lately.
Robbo, I don't want to embarrass you here, but if you didn't play, you don't win last weekend. I thought you were the best player on the field by a stretch. Did you know you're going to have a big game? Like going into it, were you sort of concentrating on doing something, a certain something, or did it just work out that way? Because you certainly were on fire.
Oh, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. But no, I guess obviously every week you try to prepare the best you can to hopefully go out and play the best game of footy you can. And no, I guess nothing felt any different to weeks before. I guess probably on the weekend, I guess a bit more match fitness is coming under the belt. It obviously takes a fair few rounds and to sort of start feeling really good through the game again. And on the weekend, yeah, I guess there's parts of the game where opportunities were arising and I was feeling in a fit enough position that I was able to attack it and not miss those opportunities I felt on the weekend. So I guess just getting a bit more match fitness under the belt as we get a little bit closer into the season is probably the difference on the weekend.
Chatting with the Cowboy, Reece Robson. Now, we called you guys actually against Penrith out at CommBank Stadium. That was a great game. There were so many big moments in that game. And Scotty Sattler, premiership winner, we were calling that alongside the Clive Churchill medalist, of course, Lukey Prittis. And the boys asked me, they said, "Boys, who does this Jaxon Purdue remind you of?" And I was thinking, who does he remind me of, this kid? And I want to ask you if this is unfair. I actually thought he reminded me of a young Tom Trbojevic when he came through. Is that unfair, Reece?
No, what's it called? Probably not, actually. Yeah, I've never put that comparison together, but now that you say it, definitely, yeah, it's not too far off the mark there. He's just a footballer, I guess, is the way I'd describe Jacko. He's obviously come through the grades as a half. They put him in fullback for a bit, and now he's found himself in the centre. And I don't think it matters where you put him. He's just a footy player, like I said, and he'll just be Johnny on the spot and turn some pretty average footy into something special, I guess. And he did that on the weekend. There was probably a set there on the line where we probably lost our way a little bit, and he just skipped across the field and split defenders and got through for a try for us. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, similar. There's definitely a lot of attributes that line up with Tommy Turbo a fair bit. So, yeah, if he could turn out to be the player he is, that'd be great for the Cows.
Now, Robbo, we're about 5 or 6 weeks away from Origin. Has the great Laurie Daley been in contact with you?
We spoke before the season. I guess before we had the sort of pre-season camp and then chatted a little bit, but he sort of just said we'll let the season get underway and then we'll be back in touch closer towards Origin time. But up until that, we've got a spine meeting next week with a decent group of us. But other than that, no, not too much. But I guess next week, probably keep a bit more contact around that sort of stuff and the way we want to play this year if I am to get selected. And I guess I'll know more after that.
Now, Robbo, for us and the listeners, can you just give us a bit of an insight into Origin football? Now, you've played the 5 games. Does it get any easier after the first game?
No, probably not really. No, I guess I probably, you know what to expect a bit more, I guess, after the first game. Obviously, the first game, you're sort of not knowing what to expect, and there's a lot of excitement and nerves that probably burn a lot of energy. So in terms of that, it probably gets a little bit easier. But no, the game I don't think gets any easier every time you go out there. You got to be prepared to play one of the biggest games of your life, and they seem to just keep getting harder and harder every time you play one. So no, I don't think it at the moment hasn't gotten any easier.
Brian, when you asked that question, and I've never played Origin, never went close, but and well done to you gentlemen who have. It's actually a strange, funny thing, isn't it, Origin, where you can be so excited about something that's so bloody hard.
Well, yeah, I suppose because it's the players that have gone before you. Like we've all grown up with Origin, and when you're a kid at home, you're thinking, "Oh, I'd love to play that one day," and then all of a sudden you find yourself there, and you go, "Uh-oh, I don't think I'm ready for this." But I just wanted to ask Reece that because I never found it. In fact, it just seemed to be getting harder and harder.
Yep.
And when people ask you, they say, "Oh, how do you describe Origin?" You can't. Like they say, it isn't just another game of footy, and you go, "It's not," because I suppose the competition stops basically, and all eyes are on you. So you get the off-field pressure, but the game, it just did you find it, Reece, that it just went on you? Like the game, all of a sudden, it just was half time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that's a hard way to explain it because you're definitely cooked out there the whole way through, and you're feeling like it's going forever. But at the same time, you're right. You sort of blink and it's half time, and then you blink again and it's full time. So it does go quick. At the same time, you feel like it's never going to end. So it's a hard feeling to explain.
Hey, Reece, a lot of chat around Lockie Galvin, of course, and we asked Mitchell Moses about that, and you're in the same situation and just the nature of the beast at the moment, where you guys can sign with other clubs while staying at the same club. You know, Dylan Brown's going through it, Daly Cherry Evans, he'll be going through the same thing. You ultimately sign with the Roosters, so you'll be there next year. Can you take us through the negotiation there? What got you over the line for the Roosters? And was there another club where you thought, oh, Nelly went there?
I guess... probably, obviously it come till after November 1 last year when, I was off contract at the end of this year and, it was free to sort of talk with other clubs. And I guess that's where the Roosters and Trent come out of the woodworks and sort of got in contact with me through my manager and we had a few chats. And I guess it was more definitely probably wasn't any other club. They were the only other club really besides the Cowboys that I was talking to at the time. And I guess it really all just sort of come out of my conversations with Trent and the way they wanted to play football and how they saw me fitting into their side. And I guess that's all it took for me was the excitement of the way he looked at the game and what he saw for me in their team and how he thought I could benefit their team and what I could bring to the club and how they wanted to play. And it really, I guess, aligned with the way I want to play football and the way I want to play my football. And I guess that was probably all for me that sort of lined up. And I think if you get that sort of feels right for myself, and you sort of, you're playing the footy you want to play, and everyone I've had anything to do with over the years from the Roosters I've really got on well with. So I guess that was probably pretty simple for myself. And after talking to the family and that was the decision we decided to go with. But no, I guess it wasn't something we went looking for. It was just, I guess, that time comes in every player's time in their career that you come off contract and if a club comes out that sort of suits the way you want to play your football and that was sort of I felt was going to be the best move for me and that's what we decided to go with in the end.
And mate, that's what you should, because it is a business. It's a tough old business too, and I don't think anyone can begrudge you from trying to do your best out of this game. The Rugby League Players Association, Clint Newton, we've had him in and him and his team in here a few times. They've done a great job for the players, but there is agitation around should we have a trade window. It is good for you to be able to secure your future and do it early, but is it uncomfortable when you've got to go back to a club and play there like Galvin, like Dylan Brown, like Daly Cherry Evans? Is there a period where it's a very difficult time for people in your situation?
I'm sure it could be. I guess for myself, there was probably a little bit of that sort of feeling, I guess, because I kind of made all my decisions over the off-season while I was still away. And obviously I'm very close with all the boys up here and had spoken to most of the boys anyway, so I knew kind of how they felt about it all when I made the decision. And I guess there was still, that little bit of feeling of, what's it all going to be like when I get back to training and that. But no, obviously I've got the way the club up here has handled it and all the boys, and I feel like for myself, I just sort of had a mindset of coming in and doing the best thing I can for the Cowboys this year, and hopefully coming away with a great season, hopefully a comp. That was my sort of plan this year, is to just come in and try my best to sort of play the best football I can to help this club this year before I move on to the Roosters. And I guess the club's treated it the same way, and I haven't kind of seen any side of the issues that I've seen. I've heard from Galvin and down there. So no, the club's handled it really well, thankfully. So I haven't had to deal with too much of that.
Now, Robbo, I know you're very, very religious. What's on for Easter Sunday? What are you up to? What are you and the family going to do?
Mate, like you said, very religious, mate. So I'll be up and, digging into the chockies, I'd say. That'll probably be my Easter Sunday, mate.
Do you have, is your partner, is she from up there, or is she a Sydney girl or New South Wales girl?
She's from Mackay, yeah. So
okay. So she's got family.
Yeah. She's got family in Mackay, but I guess we're just hanging around Townsville for the weekend.
Gotcha.
Hey, Reece, we've got to close this show up, but just really quickly, we love your captain. We've had him on the program before, your co-captain, Reuben Cotter. He's been a bit crook. Is he okay?
Yeah, mate, he's all good, mate. He was a little bit crook against the Panthers, mate, so he wasn't able to get out there that night. But, he's come good, so he's all good, ready for the bye.
All right. Speaking of coming good, Brian, in front of Reece Robson, we like to be direct here, right?
Yeah.
So they were 0-3. They've turned that to 3-3. They've got the bye. Let's run through this really quickly. Cowboys versus Titans up there.
Cows.
Warriors and the Cowboys.
Cows.
Cowboys hosting Penrith, who they've already beaten in Sydney.
Ooh. Well, I've said Penrith are going to go on a run, aren't they?
Yeah, that's fine. Be honest.
Panthers.
Okay. Cowboys hosting Manly.
Where at?
Up there.
Cows.
Bye.
Yeah.
Out of the bye, West Tigers.
Cows.
Mate.
You got a good run there.
You're about to run. And you've got to run now. Reece Robson, thanks
Robbo.
again, mate. We love having you on the program, and we appreciate you being part of the family here, which is the Run Home with Joel and Fletch.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Good on you, brother.
There he is. They could start to go on a bit of a charge, Brian.